Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I am home, and I am in my chair, and I'm greatly missing Phoenix. I had such a great time this weekend, and mostly I'm missing the weather. It is kind of rainy here today, and cloudy, and cold, and it's Indiana in March. So, you know the old saying that like March comes in like a lion or goes out like a lamb? It's gonna be really interesting because I don't remember how it came in. So I think probably like a lion, so it'll probably go out like a lamb. Anyway, I am back in my chair and I am drinking my coffee for the day, and we're gonna sit down here and I'm gonna read some meditations, and I just randomly picked 3 books. So I didn't bring out all the books today. Boo and Tucker are home. They are upstairs with their dad right now, and they are relaxing. They just got home about an hour ago. So what they love to do is when they come upstairs, they like roll on their backs and they roll all over the bed, and then they like to run around the bed and stuff, and then they sleep for the next 15 hours. So let's get into these meditations. Today, I'm going to start with the Daily Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone. It is, I almost pulled right to it. It is March 10th. Happipness. Let us be grateful to people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. Marcel Proust. We enjoy our time alone. We almost never have enough of it. But there is something wonderful about time spent with friends and family we love that can't be matched by our time alone. As we look back over our lives, it's hard to recall a moment of great happiness that wasn't at least partly due to the fact that we were sharing it with a loved one. How much better our lives would be if we always kept those who make us happy close to us. I will hug a loved one today, and as I do, I'll think how happy I am that this person is part of my life. It's such a great meditation, you know? And if you watch my vlogs for over the weekend, on Sunday night, right before I took Mel home, I got real emotional on the vlog, and I was, you know, talking about how, like, if we lived closer, you know, I mean, it's great now because I have somebody that I can go visit and all of that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, if we could just go get a fountain pop together like Tanya and I do, you know, and I think, have you ever had one of those moments where you're like out to dinner with the family or, you know, with a bunch of friends or whatever, you're just sitting around and you just like, you think to yourself, like, this is such a great moment. Like, just like, it's so, like nothing extravagant is happening, you know, it's not like we're just sitting here having, you know, birthday cake or, you know, eating dinner or whatever, but it's just like such a great moment because you're with people that you love so much. And I am such a believer in energy, and I don't necessarily mean like cosmic energy. I honestly don't really know how much I believe in that or what I think. Like when people say, you know, like you attract positivity or you attract negativity. I believe that like knows like. And so if you're a negative person, you're going to probably find yourself around a lot of negative people or people that think the similar way because that makes sense to you, if that, you know what I mean? So like if you're a positive person that sees things in positive ways, chances are you're going to be surrounded by a lot of positive people because you're going to find yourself attracted to those people that speak kind of the same language as you do, you know? And so I think in those moments, what it is it's a lot of happy people being happy to be together. And so it just is like this overwhelming feeling of happiness. You know, I think some of my greatest moments are moments where I've just been, you know, like laughing in a situation or, you know, just something funny happens and I'm with my husband or I'm with my friend and we're laughing or, you know, just having a very simple moment. Those were some like the best moments I've had in my entire life. So, obviously, you know, and when we talk about getting emotional, we talk often about sadness or feeling something on a deep level, but happiness is an emotion too. Joy is an emotion too, you know? And I'm somebody that cries or gets emotional. It's such a weird phrase, isn't it? It doesn't really apply. But I'm somebody that, I thought one of the dogs had walked by, I thought I saw him. But I am somebody that like will cry out of joy. Like I feel so passionate, like especially talking about like recovery, you know, or my own sobriety. Like I feel so passionate and I overcome with joy about like this amazing life that I've been given that sometimes I can be moved by situations like that, you know? And, but I think that happiness is obviously an underrated emotion. We talk more about I'm sad or I'm down or whatever. We talk about all those things, but we don't talk about the times that we're happy, you know? And I had said on here a while ago, I had said, you know, like, it's important to also, you know, notice the moments where you're content. And I had said in a video that I was going to start talking about on my vlog, like, I'm feeling very content today. I'm very happy, right? And it was interesting because I did it like 4 times. And I would say in a vlog, like I did it consistently over like 4 days because I woke woke up every day and I felt great. I did my meditations, I did my gratitude list, I did my prayers, and I felt really good. And so on my vlog, I would say, like, you know, I woke up today, I was really content, I was really happy, I was having a very peaceful morning, and the whole day has been like that. So it was like 4 days of that, and like the 4th day I got this comment from somebody, and they said, we get it, you're content, you're happy with your life, like we don't need to hear it every day. And I was like, ooh, okay. Like, that's a person that doesn't want you to be happy. Like, beware of those people, you know? There are people in our lives that do not want us to be happy. Like, when you express happiness, you know, or you're like dancing or whatever, they get like real embarrassed by you, or if you're singing real loud, like they don't want you to be happy, you know? Beware of those people. Beware of it. My mom used to call them people of the lie, you know, because of the Scott Peck book that he wrote, talking about people of the lie, people that are not who they show on the outside, you know. But those are also people that want to keep you in your place, and those are also people that don't want you to enjoy life and be happy and all that kind of stuff. So be careful. I don't have a lot of those people around me. Most of the people in my life know that, like, I'm crazy and, you know, whatever, or, you know, that some moments I need to be quiet and other moments I need to be loud, and that's okay. So, you know, it's like, I think it's important to have people around us that understand us, you know. All right, let's pick the next meditation. A Time to Be Free, Daily Meditations for Enhancing Self-Esteem. This book my dad and my stepmom gave me when I first got sober. It said, welcome back, we love you. Pete. They call me Pete. Okay, March 10th. Where is it? March 17th, that's St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? Okay. Hard as it may be to accept, there are times when we no longer can afford to be actively involved with our parents. The price is much too high. We've done everything in our power to help them understand and accept our new way of life, but they remain completely disapproving and inflexible. Some are so locked into their old ways of relating to us that they are severely threatened and even outraged by our transformation. Some see the changes as a personal attack. They defend themselves by responding with vicious insults, accusations, and exaggerations. When we're in an untenable situation such as this, all the progress we've made is in jeopardy. The pain alone is almost beyond endurance at times, and we may be tempted to regress. Clearly, we can't put off what we've been dreading. In some extreme cases, where contact of any kind results in disaster, we may have to end all involvement. Usually, however, a reduction in contact will suffice. Saying goodbye to a destructive relationship, especially one involving a parent, can be one of the most difficult and heartbreaking challenges we face in our new life. But it can also be liberating and reassuring to know that we have the willingness and courage to do whatever it takes to further our recovery. Thought for today: I pray for wisdom and courage to make the right choices concerning my relationships. It's called Breaking the Chain. Is that like, I don't know if that's maybe like, all of these are called Breaking the Chain. I guess that's kind of the theme of that. Well, you know, I relate to this meditation because when I got sober, I was willing to do the things that my counselor told me to do. I don't know why. I mean, I was real resistant in early sobriety to like my sponsor. But for some reason, this lady, this counselor, who's still a friend of mine today, like, she told me to do things and I trusted her, you know? I don't know what it was. I was afraid to die and I was afraid to be homeless, and that was my bottom. And I'm a believer that you can pick your bottom. I'm a believer you don't have to hit it. I know my bottom is death. I know that for a fact. When people say they hit their bottom, maybe they hit their bottom. I don't know. I didn't hit mine. I came real close. I came real close to hitting my bottom, but I didn't hit it. And I think we can pick our bottoms. Like, I think, you know, we can say, okay, this is as far down as I'm going to go, and I'm done, right? So I was there and I was scared, and I was mostly scared of being homeless and, you know, being dead. Like, those were two things that once I sobered up a little bit, which back in the day, like, you know, we had 30-day treatment programs where people would go in for 30 days, insurance companies paid for them and things like that. My dad had to pay a majority for that treatment because it wasn't my first and only treatment. And I'm thankful for that, and I call him every year on my sobriety birthday, and I thank him for that and my education and my life. But that's why I'm also a believer in like halfway houses and residential programs and stuff like that, because the longer clarity of mind you can give to somebody, the better chances that they're going to have in the long run, you know? Because when we're still kind of like messed up in the head, we don't think straight. Well, once I had some clarity, you know, and my counselor was like, you have to like get rid of people in your life that are not healthy for you. She was having me list people, right? And they were all these like good Judies of mine that I was going to a bar. And she was like, well, who in your life do you see on like a regular... And I was like, well, my mom. And she was like, well, how's your mom, you know? And I hadn't talked a lot about my mom in treatment. I had my dad come in for a family session. I didn't know if my mom would show up having had drank, or I didn't know if she would make it about her or whatever, so I didn't have her come into treatment. And so, you know, I got real honest with my counselor. I said, my mom has a severe drinking problem. And I had never talked to a counselor really about it before that. Like, not to the level that I did with her. I'd never really been that honest. And I shared it with her, you know, and she's like, you know, you need to set some boundaries and some limits for your mom. And she was like, you know, you need to let your mom know that if she's going to continue to drink, you can't be around it, and that you need distance from her. And she had me call, I think it was in her office or on the payphone, I don't know. But I remember she had me call, and I called my mom and I told her from treatment. And my mom was like, you can't mean me, right? And I was like, yeah, I do mean you. And you know, she was such a huge trigger for me anyway. Like, not just, like, she was an emotional trigger for me. Like, my mom could push my buttons like nobody's business. Even sober, my mom could push my buttons. And I saint her a lot on my channels. But my mom, like, she could push my buttons a lot. You know, I think parents and family members are good for that anyway. But anyway, you know, I got sober December 17th of 1994. My mom's sobriety birthday is June 2nd of 1995. I didn't see her a whole lot that next 6 months. I just didn't. My cousin got married like 2 weeks after my mom got sober, and that was like the first time that I had really hung out with my mom. Like, really, really hung out with my mom. And she didn't get sober because of me. My mom got sober because my uncle had had a massive heart attack and had to have, you know, bypass surgery. And my mom was like, if I live another year or if I live another 10 years, I don't want to continue to live the way that I'm living. And so she decided to change her life, and she got sober going to a 12-step program. And she had tried for years. Like, she had driven around churches, and she told me that later, you know. And I think, like, that needed to happen. I needed to set that boundary and have that distance from my mom, because I think during that time, like, I think not only because she wasn't healthy for me, but because I was looking for any excuse to go back out. And if my mom had driven me crazy enough or pushed the buttons hard enough, like, I would have been like, screw it. You know, like, this, it's never going to work. It's never going to work because of her. And then what happened was my mom and I ended up having this amazing relationship for almost 13 years, you know, because she was sober for almost 13 years after that. And that would never have happened had I, you know, if I had not gotten sober and she hadn't gotten sober. And I have friends of mine, you know, that will say to me, like, you have no idea how blessed you are that, you know, your mom got to see you sober. You got to see your mom sober. You know, they'll tell me, they'll be like, you know, my dad died or so-and-so. And this is not mine. My dad didn't die. But somebody will say, you know, my dad died. And, you know, like, we had so many issues. And I was drinking when he died. And I made the funeral about me. And, you know, I didn't even show up to the viewing. And, like, they have all these, you know, stories. And that's not mine, you know. And one of the greatest privileges in my entire life was being present for my mom's passing. Hands down, you know? And I don't think you really understand that until you've been there and you've been present when somebody has passed. It is truly, truly a privilege to be there. And it was an honor to be part of her life. And, you know, I think one of the things I greatly learned from my mom, just from her passing and her life and whatever, is that we choose who we allow in our lives. We choose who gets to participate and be a character in the movie of our life, you know? We don't have to let everybody in, and they don't have to let us in either, you know? Like, that's really, truly a privilege and an honor to be in somebody's life, you know? And I think we take that for granted sometimes, and I don't know, I don't have lots of people in my life. I don't have 50 or 100. You know, there was a time before I got sober when my phone rang like this all day long. And I thought I was, you know, the answer to everybody's problems. And they were calling me and they wanted me at their party. And I realized it just doesn't matter. You know, it just doesn't. And today I don't have that many people in my life. But the people that I have in my life, my friends, my husband, my family, I know how much I mean to them and how much they mean to me. And, you know, it's not about quantity to me today. You know, it's about reminding myself that this person has allowed me to be in their life, and that's a pretty special thing. So anyway, let me know. I'm only going to read those two because I have a meeting to get to tonight, you know? Gotta stay sober. So anyway, it's my home group meeting tonight. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below, those two meditations. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.